The silver to oil ratio, in fact, has surged to a 46-year high, signaling one of the most extreme cross-commodity dislocations since the late 1970s. Now, what does this really mean for the charts? What does it mean for where silver and oil are going to head next? Ashesha is here with that analysis. Ashesha?
Well, yes, thanks to the surge in silver prices that we saw in calendar year 2025, we have seen quite a bit of divergence that is taking place in the global commodity market, especially when we compare the silver to oil ratio, and that's the chart for you on your screens, where the silver to oil ratio now stands at a 46-year high level. That's the chart we are playing for you on your screens, which shows that silver prices have shot up quite a bit in the last few years, and clearly the silver to oil ratio has also risen to multi-decade high, and we are seeing quite a bit of divergence in the global silver to oil ratio and the global commodities market as a whole. Let's put the spotlight on some important facts and figures. As I mentioned, it is at a 46-year high. Silver to oil ratio currently stands at 1.37. This is the highest relative extreme that we have seen since 1979. Now remember, silver prices have surged 1750% since 1976, and silver outperforms oil on a long-term inflation-adjusted basis, and that divergence clearly has extended much more than normal because of the run-up that we have seen in silver prices in the global market. So that's the statistics for you. Now, what does that mean? That is one important metric that you need to watch out for. Now, extremes historically precede multi-year mean reversion, which is perhaps likely to take place in silver, heightened volatility and cross-asset reallocation cycles. Perhaps we could see some bit of reallocation from one commodity which has run up quite a bit to other commodity which is not run up as much. So these are the three things which could happen on account of the extremes that we have seen in the commodity market. Now, analysts believe that silver is now richly valued as compared to oil, thanks to the run-up that we have seen last year, and it also raises correction risk for silver. Silver, remember, has run up nearly 160% in calendar year 2025, and because of the extremes that we are seeing in the commodity market, we perhaps could see some bit of correction as far as the white metal is concerned. So yes, we are seeing cross-commodity divergence that is taking place, and silver to oil ratio is now at a 46-year high level.
Thank you so much for that, Ashesha. Kunal, let me come to you. And just a week or so back when we had this conversation, you suggested that silver will likely peak out at $75. That's exactly how it's played out, a little bit above that. But now we've seen a significant correction from those highs. Do you believe that there is still one more opportunity to probably sell at a higher level, or $70 is where we'll likely settle in at? Is this a good time to sell? Is this a good time to hold, buy? What's your take?
Yeah, I think it's a good time to try and now look at maybe booking profits over here for silver traders, because by 75 level, what I meant was that this is a zone where the asset class will start to see a lot more pressure rather than a free flowing uptrend, what it has been over the last 12 to 14 months broadly for the asset class. I think, as Ashesha was also saying, that the silver to oil ratio back at 40+ year highs. You look at the silver to gold divergences, the ratio chart, which I think in the month of April 2025, was at a 3 sigma divergence. On the negative side, we've seen the ratio now to be almost at a 1 sigma, 2 sigma band divergence on the higher side. So again, it's run up too fast, too speedily, and I think it has to go through that time-wise course correction. Whether it happens immediately, I'm not sure, but I think broadly for 2026, there would be a point where silver prices would try to just ebb off. The volatility has to settle down. The price trends have to normalize. You can't have a period as well as a zone where the prices would keep on rising in a parabolic kind of a manner. And there's got to be a point where the asset prices over here would moderate. So I believe that large part of 2026, we may actually see the silver prices go into more of a moderation rather than any kind of a major euphoria. You might have those phases of euphoria or a rise in between. That's a periodic way in which markets they tend to set up. But then broadly, if you ask me for the next 12 months, I would believe we should probably just about maybe hang around to that $70 to $75 per ounce mark for the silver prices.
Okay. Okay, silver definitely not coming down for sure. That is the message from Kunal. Somil, hi, good morning. Wish you a very happy new year. What is the big trade that you're betting for 2026?